Twitter is about early adopters, like people who are the first on many IDs, but it has so much buying power. People on they have more money, they are more serious, they churn less.
Today's guest is exited co-founder of Taplio and TweetHunter. You're currently building a video company called TypeFrames, and probably most people know you as Tibo Maker on Twitter. Welcome to the show, Tibo. Could you start by introducing yourself?
Well, thank you very much for having me. I'm super happy to be here. So quickly about me, I've been building startups for like 10 years, I think. I've failed a couple of times. I think I failed like one big time, like the complete disaster. Like you can imagine, like having to fire everyone, going to court to close your company. And that's I'm just trying to never again do the same mistake, like never again spend 2 years of my life doing something and failing in the end. And so I've been back to building startups in 2020 after COVID, and this time I think I did it very differently. And I did this crazy challenge of one startup, one product to ship every week until something stick. And that led to TweetHunter, which took off super quickly. And in the end, we ended up being acquired by the team behind Empire for a little bit more than 10 million. I'm right now in the earnout period, like in this transition of being part of the acquisition, and maybe I'm gonna be back to building again very soon.
That sounds exciting. So I think in this conversation, I'd like to get into the background of TweetHunter and Taplio. And I also want to get deep into conversation about TypeFrames as well, the current project you're working on. So why is AI video generation the next big thing?
This is obvious to me because videos is the best media ever if you want to capture attention, and I think we saw it when TikTok went out, with Instagram going full video. It was a huge technical challenge to build a social media that is video based, and when technology got cheaper enough for platforms to go full video, they just did it, and they are taking the markets. And that's why all the other social media like Twitter, Instagram are trying to catch up with TikTok, and are trying to go with video. And we are seeing it right now, like text and images are the first thing that AI took over. They are like, we have pretty decent quality right now. Video is not there yet, and it's something that's like, for me it's obvious that it's gonna catch up. Like we are seeing it right now with Sora. The videos are pretty impressive, so we don't know if they are fully edited or if they are cherry picked among over the generation. But what's for sure is that when everyone will be able to create his own movie, we're gonna have like a huge wave of wonderful content. Like imagine every storyteller on the planet being able to craft his own movie. That's going to be insane, and they're going to require a huge number of new tools to equip those people, and that's what I want to be part of.
All right. Well, that seems like a good launch pad to talk about TypeFrames. Can you tell me about TypeFrames?
TypeFrame is it's a small tool developed by a French student back in June last year. It made some noise on Twitter when he launched it because it was, I think, the easiest tool on the planet to craft a video without anything else than text. And just by moving around text, like animating this text, TypeFrame is able to generate a captivating video that you can use for like everything, basically, like to showcase your product, to prove a point, to grab attention on social media. And the thing is, even if the tool took off quickly on Twitter, I noticed that the guy quickly moved on to something else. And so I just jumped on that, reached out to the guy, told him that I wanted to acquire the tool and I wanted to like work on that. He said yes. I was so happy, and the deal happened last September. I hired someone to work with me on that, and we revamped the tool, made it subscription based, improved it a lot, added a lot of AI stuff, and we went from 0 to right now 9K in monthly recurring revenue, which is crazy to me. Like it was basically the like 10K was the goal 1 year after the acquisition, and we are 7 months after, and pretty close to the goal. So it's going very well right now.
Yeah. That's fantastic. So was it opportunistic, just the acquisition, or did you have a train of thought around building versus buying?
It was definitely opportunistic. Like every single one of, I think, my 10 acquisitions that I did in the last 2 years, every single one is very opportunistic. I'm not looking to do them. I just saw the people on Twitter shipping very good things that I want to be part of. I just reach out, and in most of the cases, it doesn't go anywhere. But in the very rare occasions, things work out, goals are aligned, and deals happened.
Makes sense. Is there something in particular that you notice more than others? Like what perks your attention about a particular company to acquire it more than another company?
The thing is, when we think about acquisition, we think about how one product can be combined with another product to like offer more value, offer more services. And the way I say it, every time I went through that, it didn't work. Like it's trying to align and trying to combine two different systems is very, very hard. Like very often the tech are not the same, the teams are not the same. It's very hard to align two tech, trying to embed one in another. And generally what happens is you have this business guy saying, yeah, let's do an iframe to embed one product in the other one. And you have to like twist everything so that they can communicate between each other. And it doesn't work. What we did that's working very well is that we acquire traffic. Like we do not acquire tech, we acquire traffic. And we never combine the tech together. Like the traffic is then the traffic of one product that is not aiming at generating revenue is then fueling the main products. In our case, that's TweetHunter or Taplio. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, so basically you keep the product itself the same, but add more traffic, add more distribution to the same product.
Yep, exactly. Like the product stays alive. We generally are not really updating it, and we are using it as a traffic source to then fuel the main product that we want to sell.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's dive back into TweetHunter and Taplio then. I think it would be hard to be on the internet into the marketing space to not know about TweetHunter or Taplio. But for somebody who doesn't know, can you help me understand what they are?
TweetHunter is basically all-in-one tool to help people grow their Twitter. And in the end, that's a tool that I built for myself because I realized that all the projects I was making, everything, the best way to distribute and to sell them, it was Twitter. So I wanted to grow a Twitter audience myself. and all the product that was out there was pretty shitty. Basically, everything you had was that social media tools that are pretty useful for companies because they want to be everywhere. Like they want to have Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and all the other social media. And that's not what I want as a creator or as an indie maker. What's going to make me successful is picking one social media and go all in on this one. And because Buffer and because Hootsuite or later are supporting every social media, they are not taking all the power of each one. Like they are not leveraging every API call, and they are not offering all the features that TweetHunter is offering. So what we did is just supporting one social media, Twitter, and like build the best tool only for this one. And we are actually talking with very specific people that are interested in Twitter only. So generally not medium and big size company. Very like most of the time it's solopreneurs, coaches, freelancers, people that are working in a very small group or alone. And it worked so well that when came the time to think about another platform, LinkedIn, we made this crazy choice of like not supporting LinkedIn inside TweetHunter, but we made a completely new tool dedicated to LinkedIn. And what we did basically is that we took the TweetHunter code base, we just copy pasted it and changed name, changed a few features. So at the very, very beginning, it was like 99% the same code base. And after a few months, it started to like, it went apart. And the further we are going, the further they are going in different direction. And that was super important because we could have combined the two in the same platform, but we would not have been able to be the best product for LinkedIn on one side and the best product for Twitter on another side.
Yeah. When did you start thinking about, oh, we should probably do Taplio? Like, what was the train of thought behind that? Was, TweetHunter is going super, super well, and we can just do this again? Or was the train of thought different?
It's crazy because like people don't know about that, but we started thinking about Taplio when we were just at 3K in monthly revenue. Like before we even officially launch on Twitter, I had already started working on the basic of Taplio. But then, and we actually got our first five paying users. They went on Taplio, they tested it, and they were using it. But then TweetHunter took off so fast. Like in September 2021, it went from 3K to 20K in monthly recurring revenue. So we just focused on TweetHunter 100%. And then 6 months went by, and 6 months later, we got back to Taplio just because the opportunity was so big. Like the reasoning is that Twitter is very cool. Twitter is awesome. Twitter is about early adopters, like people who are the first on many IDs. But LinkedIn has so much buying power. People on LinkedIn, they have more money, they are more serious, they churn less, and so the LinkedIn is where the money is, and we were right about that. Like right now, Taplio is, even if Taplio is born like 9 months after TweetHunter, Taplio is making twice the revenue TweetHunter is making.
Wow, that's really interesting. What do you think some of the outside factors were to make TweetHunter, like why did TweetHunter take off so quickly versus Taplio in the beginning?
I think it came up at the perfect time. Like it came up at the moments where creators, solopreneurs, indie makers was starting to be a real thing. Like people wanted to become to be they wanted to identify themselves as solopreneurs. They wanted to be part of that. At the same time, there were no real options for them. And at the same time, GPT-3 came out. And so we were able to leverage GPT-3 from OpenAI to bring something way more valuable than what everyone on the market was doing. So it was like the combination of all those was meant that the timing was perfect. And that's luck because it's definitely not something that we controlled.
Yeah, for sure. I imagine leveraging the GPT-3 API very early on, competing against companies who are frankly quite a lot slower than indie hackers
Yeah,
could
but
be, was a huge advantage.
one thing is when TweetHunter got released the very first time, I think it was like 9 months after GPT-3 came out officially, and 4 months after we started working, getting access on it. So when we got access to GPT-3, like 6 months after it got released, in our mind, like the game was set, like that we were just too late. There were already great projects like Headline, Copy.ai, things like that. For us, it was over. Like we just got access too late, and that was it. And it's crazy to me that it was definitely not the case. And I think it's still true right now. Like when you arrive right now on the AI market and you see all those awesome products, it's very easy to think that it's over, everything has been done, and you came too late. And again, I don't think it's true. Like you have so many opportunities right now, so many vertical businesses that have not been overtaken by AI. There's so many boring stuff, like I don't know, like bank stuff, ERPs, CRM, like things that people don't really want to work on, but so many great things to build with AI.
Yeah, sure. What would you be working on if you weren't working on TypeFrames?
That's a good question. So many things like AI video avatars. I think this is going to be a great thing. I'm pretty sure that building a system or infrastructure to enable small businesses to have their own fine-tuned models trained with their data. I think that's something very interesting. Building something like you have a lot of open banking APIs right now, and being able to like plug AI with open banking data can be very interesting. Like you can understand much more about how you are spending money and how you can save some. This is just like a few example of the opportunities you have right now, but and something that's huge and still not exploited in my opinion is gaming. You have
Mm,
very few games leveraging AI, and that's because making a game is expensive and time consuming. Like it's very long. I did that. Like one of my first startup was a gaming studio. If you build, like, I'm pretty sure you can find a new way to build games in a much faster way, and ship an AI game very fast. That's, I think, one AI game is gonna took off in the year to come, or the year after that.
that's interesting. Um, So let's digress a little bit from TweetHunter. I believe you used to be very into raising venture money and running venture companies, and now you're very exclusively bootstrapping uh, small internet startups. So I want to understand that transition. And to understand that, I think we need to probably talk about some of your first ventures.
Yeah, so one of the first things that I did was working in the educational space. I was building an app called Pistas that would motivate kids to do their daily chores. And I spent 2 years on that, raised VC money, hired a big team, and I did that another time with another product called Magic Cats Builder. It was a game to teach kids how to learn to code, like learn how to code through a game. And though those two startups have a lot in common in a way that I think what was the most important for me was showing success instead of actually being successful. And
Mm,
what that means is that you have these moments when you are at a family dinner and people are asking you what you are doing with your life, like what's your job, what are you doing right now. And it's so cool when you can say that you have created your own startup, you have just raised 300K, you have hired a 10 people team, and you have just won this awesome prize for like startup of the year or something like that. But the thing
right.
is, this makes you feel that you are very successful. It's an awesome status to achieve. You feel awesome, but like nothing that I've said is actually proof that you have created something that provides value in any way. Like nothing is revenue. And the huge mistake that I made in the first startups is I was not seeking revenue, and revenue is everything. When we were trying to validate if our product was working or not, we were asking if people like the product. That's the most basic mistake you can make when you're creating a startup. Like if you want to know if people like the product, do not ask them if they like the product. Like ask them to pay for it, and if they do, you know that they like the product. If they say that they like the product, they're just trying to be nice because they don't want to ruin your day. And that's how I felt twice.
Okay. And do you run your businesses differently? Like, do you think about hiring differently now that you're basically fully bootstrapping companies?
Yeah, so I'm trying to go revenue first. Basically, the idea is like never raise money anymore because it makes you feel that you are winning when you are not. Hiring is something that maybe you have to do it when you have for sure product market fits. Like hiring is something that is going to slow you down if you do not have product market fit yet. It's the case because when you have a 10% team and you are building something and you are realizing that it's not working, what's going to happen in your mind is that you are going to you have to convince the people working for you that you know what you are doing. And when you do
Mm,
that, you will not accept the facts that your product is not good. Like you are going to try to convince your team of something that is not true. And so it's going to be very hard for you to say, it's not working. Let's pivot and let's work on something else. That's something that's very hard to share. And so basically my new rule is trying to validate first above everything. Validate instead of trying to like force an ID. And when it's validated for sure, then you can hire and scale.
yeah, that makes sense. So where's the company at right now? TypeFrames. You guys have been building it for 7 months, 6 months.
Yep, pretty much like that. So we've built a lot. We have transitioned from very generalistic video making software that is more dedicated to like create videos about your product launch. We are transitioning from that to something that is more social oriented. Like we want to be the tool that creators use on their daily contents. and that's why I've been running some experiments. I've even created a fork of TypeFrame dedicated to TikTok. I want to see if it's a very good tool to make faceless videos for on TikTok, and that's very hard for me because I'm very not a big I'm not a big TikTok user. I do not
Hmm.
have a presence there, and so I need to talk with a lot of TikTokers, understand what they want to do and how they are doing it to fully grasp the value that I can provide. It's not easy. It's a journey, and the fact that we have reached 9K in monthly revenue is pretty huge for me. I hope that we can continue that.
Yeah, sure. How do you think about like testing at almost 10K in revenue? Like what I'm curious to understand. It seems like there's been a lot of growth. You seem to be growing faster than you had originally planned to when you acquired it, almost twice as fast. But you're still testing and learning along the way. Like you're still forking off the code base to learn more. Tell me about your train of thought there.
Well, I think I don't have a specific hack for that, but basically, I'm really not afraid about breaking the product to make it better. If you break the product for 2 days, you're gonna lose like maybe 100 people, and that's 100 people. That's 100 visits that maybe you will not convert, like probably. But if in the end it enables you to go faster and change a key thing in the product that is worth it, I think that's something you need to do.
It's just too early to be doubling down on any particular product strategy.
Yeah, and it's very too early to stop making experiments. Like it's not like we have a huge customer base using the
Hmm.
product every day, and that I need to be very careful about what we are breaking, changing, so that everyone is going to be able to use the product on the long term. I want, in the end, to provide the best experience. So I need to experiment every day and see if there is better thing that is going to like make people use it more, make people export more videos, make people happier, or even make people more successful with their videos. That's the end goal.
Okay. Cool. Maybe let's end off on where do you think you want to take this company in kind of 1 to 2 years here? You're just exited your last two companies. What's going to be the exit for TypeFrames?
I don't think I'm gonna exit it. Like
No?
the
Okay.
thing is, it's not like I regret selling TweetHunter and Taplio. I don't. I think it was a awesome experience, and I'm happy that I did it. Especially when Elon Musk tried to to kill us when they killed the API. But like selling a company is making you getting a huge bunch of money at one time, and it's not that it's bad. I liked it, but it's it's not making you able to adapt to having this. So what I mean by that is that all the money that I got from the acquisition, it's on my bank accounts, and I didn't touch it. Like it's sitting there. I
Hmm.
didn't do anything with that, and it's much easier for me to spend the money that I get on a monthly basis than spending this huge acquisition money, because I would feel so guilty if I did something wrong, if I do something wrong with that. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah, I think so.
So
So
in the end, I don't think that I want to sell TypeFrame. I would be very happy if we have a slow and continuous growth, and if it's able to support my family and our travel plans or anything.
fantastic. And you've got a second kid along the way, I think.
Yeah, exactly. It's for July, so I'm pretty excited and worried at the same time.
Well, I imagine if it's your second kid, you should be less worried, but maybe that's not true. No, not at all. All right. Well, thanks for coming on. I very much appreciate the conversation. If people want to reach you, can they reach you at?
I think the best is my Twitter. So I'm Thibault _ maker, and I reply to most of the DMs that I get. So feel free to DM me there. I also have a newsletter on tibo.beehive.com. I would be very happy if you start to follow me today.
Sounds great. Well, thanks, Thibault. I appreciate the conversation.
Thank you very much, Doug.